the Chicago Bears finally fix the one issue that has haunted them longer than anyone wants to admit? We're not talking about a revolving door at head coach or the constant reset at quarterback. We're not even looking at the offensive coordinator carousel. No, this goes deeper than that. This is about the offensive line, the foundation, the heartbeat of any consistent offense. And for the Bears, it's been a glaring weakness for years, decades even. But that might finally be changing. Let's be real for a second. Bears. Fans know this pain all too well. How many seasons have been derailed because the quarterback spent more time on his back than he did scanning the field? How many promising drives have been blown up by immediate pressure right up the gut? It's been a mess. But this offseason, something feels different. There's a reason to believe this time. The front office didn't just throw a few band-aids on the problem. They might have actually gone out and solved it. According to Pro Football Focus, this new-look offensive line ranks as the 4th best unit in the NFL heading into the 2025 season. 4th. That's a wild jump for a team that allowed the most sacks in the league just last year. And while PFF's grading system isn't perfect and certainly has its inconsistencies, there's no denying that Chicago has invested in this unit in a way we haven't seen in a long time. Ryan Poles didn't just upgrade, he went all in. Big contracts, veteran talent, draft capital. It was a full-on rebuild of the offensive trenches. Now, to be fair, the sack numbers over the past few seasons have been ugly. In 2022, the Bears gave up 58 sacks. That number dropped slightly to 50 in 2023, only to balloon to 68 last year. That's just unacceptable at the NFL level. Sure, part of that falls on the quarterbacks. Justin Fields and Caleb Williams both have tendencies to hold onto the ball longer than they probably should. That's a fact. But even taking that into account, it doesn't tell the full story. It's not like the offensive line was doing them any favors. What's interesting is how conflicting some of the data has been. Even PFF, which has been critical of Chicago's offensive line, somehow rated them as the 8th best pass blocking unit in 2024. 8th, despite allowing the most sacks in the league. That alone raises eyebrows. And for run blocking, they were 15th. Yet if you watch the games, it honestly felt like the line was better in the run game than they were protecting the passer. DeAndre Swift struggled at times to find the hole, sure, but there were openings. Pass protection, on the other hand, felt like a disaster more often than not. Part of the problem was personnel. When you look back at last year's lineup, the inconsistencies jump off the page. Larry Borum, for instance, had one of the roughest seasons imaginable. As a part-time starter, he gave up 7 sacks in fewer than 250 pass blocking snaps. That's a rate that's borderline catastrophic. You just can't put someone like that on the field and expect to protect your rookie quarterback. And even with numbers like that, PFF still gave him a pass block grade in the 50s, which feels way too generous. That performance was more in line with someone who should be rated in the 20s. Then you look at other players. Matt Pryor gave up 7 sacks, but he started most of the season. Darnell Wright allowed 6, although a handful of those came early in the year, and he improved significantly as the season progressed. Braxton Jones gave up 5 but missed time with injuries. Taven Jenkins had 4, again in a limited sample, due to injuries, and Coleman Shelton allowed 3 sacks over more than 700 pass block snaps. Not terrible, but not elite either. Altogether, those 6 players allowed 32 sacks, and that's not even counting the rotational linemen who saw snaps. 68 sacks in total. PFF attributed 17 of those directly to Caleb Williams, meaning the offensive line still gave up over 50. And yes, we get it. Sack attribution is subjective. PFF doesn't have access to every play call, every protection scheme, every assignment. They do the best they can based on film and analytics. But even if you shave a few off here and there, that's still way too many. Which brings us to the offseason. Clearly, the Bears recognized that things weren't working, not just kind of broken, but fundamentally flawed. And for once, they didn't take half measures. They rebuilt the interior of the offensive line from the ground up. They brought in proven talent, players with real track records, and paid the kind of money that signals confidence. This wasn't about plugging holes. This was about forming a foundation for a decade. Start with left guard. Last year, Taven Jenkins held that spot when he was healthy, but that was rare. He's a talented player, no doubt, but the injuries are constant. Enter Joe Thuney, a four-time All-Pro, a Super Bowl champion, and arguably one of the best guards in football over the last decade. Since 2018, he's allowed just 7 sacks over nearly 5,000 pass blocking snaps. That is an absurd level of consistency. For comparison, Larry Baum gave up the same number of sacks in just a fraction of the reps. It's not even close. Joe Thuney doesn't just bring skill, he brings leadership, he brings experience. He's blocked for Tom Brady, he's blocked for Patrick Mahomes, he knows how to handle every blitz package, every defensive stunt, every high-pressure moment. Whoever ends up playing left tackle, whether it's Braxton Jones or rookie Ozzie, Trapilo will benefit tremendously from lining up next to him. Thuney makes the job easier for everyone around him. That's what elite interior linemen do. At center, the Bears moved on from Coleman Shelton and brought in Drew Dalman, handing him a hefty contract to anchor the middle of the line. And honestly, it's about time. This team has been patchworking the center position for over a decade. Drew Dalman isn't just serviceable, he's legit. He's one of the top centers in the league and brings a blend of athleticism and intelligence that's critical in today's NFL. His ability to set protections, recognize blitzes, and handle communication at the line will take a huge burden off Caleb Williams. That alone could be a game changer. The right guard spot also got a serious upgrade. Matt Pryor filled in admirably last season after Nate Davis struggled mightily and eventually faded from the picture. Now the Bears turn to Jonah Jackson, a player who had a turbulent season in Los Angeles last year, but has shown Pro Bowl potential when healthy. His 2024 campaign was plagued by injury and position shuffling, including an awkward stint at center. But when he returned to guard late in the season, especially in Week 18 against Seattle, he reminded everyone just how dominant he can be. If Jackson returns to form, the Bears have a solid physical presence on the right side. That brings us to left tackle, perhaps the only true mystery heading into training camp. Is it going to be Braxton Jones, the reliable, if unspectacular veteran? Or will rookie Ozzie Trapilo win the job outright? Trapilo, a technician with great feet and excellent pass protection instincts, profiles as a better pure pass blocker than his competition. That might be the deciding factor, because Ben Johnson made it clear during OTAs. The number one job of an offensive tackle is to protect the quarterback. If you can't handle the best pass rusher one-on-one, you don't belong on the edge. Trapilo comes from a strong college program, played in a tough conference, and graded out well as a pass protector. He's not as powerful in the run game as someone like Kieran Amagaji, but he moves better, sets quicker, and has a cleaner technique. It's still early, but the potential is obvious. And if he proves to be an upgrade over Braxton Jones, that only raises the ceiling for this unit. Darnell Wright at right tackle is another bright spot. His growth throughout last season was impressive. Over the final 10 games or so, he looked like a different player. Confident, balanced, and consistent. If he picks up where he left off, the Bears could be looking at a long-term cornerstone on the right side. And when you line him up next to Jonah Jackson, that side of the line could be absolutely punishing. Now you put all those pieces together. Joe Thuney at left guard, Drew Dalman at center, Jonah Jackson at right guard, a rising star in Darnell Wright, and a battle-tested left tackle or a high-upside rookie in Trapilo, and suddenly the vision becomes clear. This is not just a serviceable group. This could be a legitimately good offensive line, maybe even great. And we haven't even mentioned the new offensive line coach. The Bears hired Dan Raushaw, a veteran with over 30 years of coaching experience, including a decade with the New Orleans Saints during their best offensive years. He's a disciple of the build from the inside out philosophy. That's not just lip service, it's a strategy, and it's reflected in every move the Bears made this offseason. Raushaw knows what a real offensive line looks like, and for the first time in a long time, the Bears might have one. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Could the Windy City be the next home for one of the NFL's most feared edge rushers? Word around the league is that JADEVEON CLOWNEY may be suiting up for the Chicago Bears in the upcoming 2025 season. Though nothing has been made official, Several insiders suggest the veteran defensive end is on the verge of joining the Bears' defensive unit, potentially signaling a major boost for the team's front seven. CLOWNEY, known for his explosive play and ability to disrupt backfields, had a resurgent 2024 campaign, reminding fans and analysts alike why he was once the #1 overall pick. If this rumor proves true, his arrival could bring a much-needed jolt to a Bears defense that showed flashes of potential last season, but often struggled to close out games and pressure opposing quarterbacks consistently. The move, if finalized, would align with Chicago's recent push to reinforce its defense through a mix of youth and experience. CLOWNEY, while no longer in his early prime, brings a wealth of knowledge, elite athleticism, and a proven track record. Pairing him with the Bears' young pass rushers could create a formidable front line capable of wreaking havoc in the NFC North. While fans await an official announcement, the buzz around CLOWNEY's potential landing in Chicago continues to grow. It wouldn't be the first time the Bears made a splash with a high-profile defensive acquisition, and if history is any indication, it could be a game-changing move. For now, it's all speculation, but if the whispers are true, the Bears may be on the verge of one of the offseason's most impactful signings. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments, so see you in the next video.